Coach Teresa Ford here, and this is the Guiding You Home podcast. This is a thought-provoking and often humorous approach to moving you closer to the only one who can genuinely help you live a life of abundance and prosperity. Sound good? Yeah, it's you that needs to go within so you can sit in the driver's seat of your life, co-creating with God. So make room for more light and knowledge. As you continue to listen, you will discover elements of how to lead with your inner light, how to act on your specific promptings, and how to follow your spiritual intuition so you can fulfill the measure of your creation. Thanks for being here, and let's dive in. Hello. I am so glad you're here. I love having conversations with you. If you're listening, there's a real high likelihood that we are putting off the same types of vibes. I think you're always attracted to that vibrational energy that you resonate with most. And because we are spiritual creators, there is limitless potential within us to do what we came here to do, using our unique voice, our unique perspectives, our unique spiritual gifts, our unique past history that gives us a different outlook on life. I feel like we could stab at all the reasons why we think we are who we are, what we think we are, where we think we are, but the most important thing is to identify why we are. Because the why is in the spirit. It's the thing that gets us excited. It's the thing that taps us internally on the heart and says, let's go try that. Let's look that up. Let's be curious. Let's follow the impulse. Let's go here because it feels good. And when something feels really good to you, you're on a great path. Good and God are the same, right? There's just missing an O. So if you're feeling good, that's where God is also, because God doesn't move. Like, he's steadfast and immovable. And it's usually us that's either sliding closer to him or further away. So when you're feeling good, you're being that spiritual creator you were meant to be. So I want to kind of introduce the idea now of pioneer. A pioneer is somebody that's blazing the trail. And I think we all have that pioneer spirit in us. And I don't mean pulling hand carts and camping in freezing cold temperatures. I'm talking about leading the way from the time you entered the world. You're showing your posterity a better way. I mean, that's the goal, right? And it's not perfect, especially, my entire childhood was fractured. It was just an attempt to survive the emotional neglect. That's all. And when I say that's all, it's been years and years of unwinding that. And sometimes I still have to stop and reset my nervous system because there's still those untrue beliefs hanging around. So as a spiritual creator, though, if you struggle with any of those things in the past, things that still come up, you still see negative patterns happening in your life with the relationships you're in or the jobs you're at or the money flow that stops, whatever it happens to be, wherever your triggers or trauma or sadness or grief or loss or disappointments lie, there's a better way to handle your life. And that is to be the spiritual creator. Have you ever been unhappy creating something? That's usually a hard no. It's when we're not creating that we're not happy, because then we're just focused on the things we really don't want to grow. We're focused on the problem. We're focused on the people we can't control. We're still trying to hang on to life with an iron grip, and it's not working. But when we enter that flow of being creative from the spirit, because the spirit's just light and love. Like, you literally can't change that. It's in stone. You are light and love. And when you operate from the standpoint of being perfect light and love, then you get to be the creator. You get to be the pioneer. You're blazing trails. Whether it's in taking the first step and being the artist you know you want to be, or if it's modeling differently for your family, your children, even your grown children, because they're still always watching. Or maybe it's taking a step out and writing that book, or, getting stepping into that career shift that you've hoped you could do or wanted to do or weren't sure you could do. Yeah, the creator in you is like, go for it. You got nothing to lose. Everything is about love. Nothing is about win, loss, failure. It's not about that. In fact, there's no such thing as a problem. It's only that we think there's a problem. And so if we're troubleshooting from life from up here, we're thinking about what could hurt us. And the only thing that our brain has to work with is the past. So if your brain is like, oh, well, this happened and that happened and this happened and that happened, and now I need to watch out for those things so I don't step in the same hole again. And so we're just always climbing out of emotional holes because we're focused on what we don't want. I don't want that to happen again. I don't want those people to say that about me. I don't want that rumor going around. I don't want to be judged. If you're focused on what you don't want, you are not being a spiritual creator. Like, you're giving all your power away, and your power is your energy, your focus. So if you can become a spiritual creator from inside, magic happens. Like, that is the cream of the crop in this life, because you're not troubleshooting life. You're not trying to avoid the toxic people. You're not trying to set boundaries every time you turn around. You're not doing those things because your creator self is going to put you so far away from needing to set a boundary. Can you hear that? Like, if you're playing around the boundary where the boundary is needed, you're hanging out with the people that need boundaries around them, because you never need boundaries around healthy people. You only need boundaries around unhealthy people. So if you are hanging around with people that need boundaries, you're really not living in your creative zone. And that creative zone it comes from your spirit. And when your spirit is on fire, it's loving life, it's doing all the things, it's going for gold, it's doing what it loves. It's kind of like being a little kid. Like, you can put any kid in the sandbox together and they will make friends. And they're just building sandcastles and building moats and digging holes. They're just having fun. They're like, what can we do with sand? When we enter life like that, what can I do with the sand in my life? What if I did it this way? What if I did it that way? Like, gosh, exercise and diet. Back in the day when I was like, eat more, not less. Eat nutritionally dense, not fluffy. Exercise 30 minutes, not more. Be smarter in your exercise, meaning incorporate rest into your exercise, because you can definitely sprint harder. Sprint when you're doing like bicep curls or something. You can sprint harder knowing that your sprint's going to last somewhere between 10 and 20 seconds, and then you're going to have to rest because you're out of breath or you went to muscle failure. And so you incorporate that rest because you're expecting to have to rest, and then you rest as long as you need to, and then you jump back into the workout and you get your 10, 30 seconds of exercise done as fast as you can because you're trying to earn your rest. And that, like, the creative genius that comes to you through the spirit, your spirit's like, yeah, that was great. Yeah, oh, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, we would love to eat like that. And oh, we would love to work out like that. And it's like, ooh, that would fit in my schedule. That feels really good. There's some relief there that we're not going to have to go to hour-long Zumba and come home not sure if we did anything that's really going to make an impact long-term. So if you're in the creative zone, you're going to find the things that work for you. And it's not going to be hard. It's just going to be playing in the sandbox. It's like, well, what can we do in 20 seconds in a workout? Let's try it. Maybe it's just a high knees jog, or it's, lying on your back doing scissor kicks, but you're playing. You're discovering what you can do and what feels good and what doesn't feel good. And you stop listening to the noise and the norm, like the trends that are happening. It's like, well, that's a nice trend, and maybe it's working for you for 10 minutes or 10 days. But if it's not working for you at some point, don't keep doing it because you said, well, I was going to do this and now it's not working. But I still feel obligated to do it because I said I would. It's like, no. Then you lose the creative genius in you, right? So the 4 points of understanding who you are is the who am I? It's who you think you are. It's the what, the emotional well-being. It's like, what do I think I am emotionally? I have referred to myself as an emotional mess at times, and I'm never wrong. So sometimes when you need to know what you are, you need to check to see who you think you are. Because if you think you're, not doing well in life and you're a little slow or whatever, it's not going to feel good. The what is going to suffer as well. But the why you are is in your spirit. It's the thing you're here to do. And it's not just one. It's like 10 things you're here to do in order to get over the struggle, the part of you that troubleshoots all the problems and reacts to them, probably not in a good way. And we have all that negative emotion or what is like, and our brain is like doing its Controlzilla thing. And we're just not cohesively working together towards the why. When you get into this flow of understanding why you're here, you will get your spiritual needs met. When you get your spiritual needs met, now you have an arsenal. You have an entire toolkit full of love. You just pop it in the old love toolbox. And now you have a means for responding to life. We're not triggered anymore. We're understanding that the elements of our spiritual talents, our gifts are coming to light. It's like, oh, I used to handle it that way, but if I handled it according to my spiritual gifts, I could handle it this way. And it feels so much better because I'm not controlling. I'm not taking offense. I'm not judging. I'm not like all the knots. You're not doing those things anymore. And it just feels good. Good. Sliding closer to God, right? Good and God. It's just missing an O. So when you're feeling good, you are in that spiritual creator space because that's where God is too. He is a spiritual creator. Hence our lives and our earth, our world. So as you are understanding the who, the what, the why, you will also understand where you are. And that's on the physical plane. That's your body. Your body's telling you where you're at. Like, you're hungry. That's where you're at. Oh, you're sleepy. That's where you're at. Oh, you have brain fog. Well, that's where you're at. Your body's always telling you with its health or its dis-ease or its dysfunction. It's always telling you where you're at. And it always spirals back up to what you're thinking about. And this creates the emotion, and then we hold emotions in our body, and then the why of our spirit, which is usually the thing that we don't think about, is like, poof, we'll just, it's twiddling its thumbs, going, okay, when you're ready, we'll just be over here, and you can get out of that shadow response that you always troubleshoot life with, and you can start to live from your spiritual gifts. Now, everybody has unique gifts. Some of mine are synergy. I'm here to be synergistic. I'm not here to create a business. I'm not here to be a coach. I'm not like that. Synergy is at the core of everything I do as a coach. Because through synergy also allows me, one of my other gifts that of the spirit that I'm supposed to develop is expansion. So when I am synergistically working with people one-on-one or in a mentorship group, I am fulfilling the measure of my creation because that synergy and that expansion are just beautifully matching. That's how I know I'm living on purpose, because the spirit comes in those conversations and those coaching sessions, and oh my gosh, it's like the best thing I've ever experienced in this lifetime. It's just the spiritual, I don't know what to call it. I don't know if there's an earthly word that says that is the most magical thing I've ever experienced, but magical is even not good enough of a word to express how my spirit feels when it's just soaring with this God energy, just the energy of the spirit that flows through me as I am synergistically helping people who want to help themselves. It's incredible. So if I know what my gifts are, and I can help you figure out what your gifts are as well, but when you know what your gifts are, that you're here to conquer, you're here to develop, you're here to magnify, then you stop troubleshooting life being annoyed, frustrated, dissatisfied, bored, alone, or lonely. Like, you stop doing all those things and you start really taking off in life, because you're like, oh, now I know the difference between what's not working, so I can do what will work. And let me just share one more gift with you. One other gift that I have is the need to use determination to my benefit. Now you're like, oh, well, everybody has determination. Like, we're all trying to, yeah, we were all babies. We all determined that probably not going to crawl for the rest of our lives, and we would like to walk. Yes. But not everybody has that gift of, oh, if I don't know, I will definitely find out. That is the gift I'm here to use for my benefit. So how do I do that? How do I develop it? And it just happens to be how I also do my coaching. That I'm not smart enough to know what everybody else needs, but the Spirit is. And so when I ask, I also receive those answers. And it's a gift for me, because I say things I've never said before, and it's a gift for my client, and they hear things they've never heard before, but they're the things, it just happens to be the things that they are ready to hear. They're ready to contemplate it. They're like, wow, I've never thought of it like that before. I was like, that was pretty cool how it came through. And when that happens, it's magical. But sometimes, if maybe I'm not on point or my energy is a little disrupted, sometimes I don't have the answer right then and there. And I'm like, phew, nothing's coming through right now. And that's okay, because that gift, I could be like, oh, I am not a coach. I just you let my client down. I should know everything, but I don't. No. Because the gift is, I don't know, but I will find out. That's the gift of determination. And if I know that already about myself, then I am not worried about not having the answers. I don't ever have to really have the answers, but I do need to be patient and wait until the answers come in their perfect timing. But that's just one of the other things that I know about me that helps me use my spiritual gifts to be that spiritual creator I was born to be. Now, you have special gifts. And I am that person that helps you figure out what the needs of your spirit are so that you can grow. And so if you're curious, if you're like, wow, wouldn't that be handy to have the answers to the test, so that I'm not like, oh, am I supposed to write a book? Oh, am I supposed to, like, those things are awesome. And oftentimes our brain will lead with those things because they sound interesting to us. Like, if something's interesting to you, it's for you. You're not going to be interested in, how to lay pipe in the ground if that's not interesting, if it's not for you. So yeah, you're not going to do that. You're not going to go look up how to lay pipe in the ground. But if learning how to paint an abstract painting and you're like, wow, that sounds really fun and interesting, it's for you. But there's a greater gift. There is a deeper gift, and not everybody can identify what that is. So they're like, well, why do I want to be a painter? What is it about my DNA, my makeup, my desires, hopes, wishes, and dreams that makes me want to do that? And then you get into that deeper meaning. You dive deep into the gifts that are yours, and those gifts are helping you to stabilize your health, right? It's called your radiance. And your radiance is everything that keeps you healthy. So money keeps you healthy, stable relationships keep you healthy, being known, being seen, being heard, that keeps you healthy. Like, all the things that keep you healthy show up when you understand the spiritual gifts of radiance for you. And then you have to know your pearl. Your pearl is this prosperity. in life. And when you understand your spiritual gifts that bring perfect balance, and I don't mean work-life balance, I mean balance in your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical planes. When you understand which spiritual gifts do that and bring you that level of prosperity where you have a beautiful balance in all areas of your life, what can you do with that? Like, what can't you do with that? That's probably the better question. And then also you have a genius. You have the spiritual IQ, you have an emotional IQ, you have an intellectual IQ. And what are you doing with the spiritual gifts of those? Do you know what they are? If not, and you're curious, we need to talk, because how do you live life? How do you even live life without knowing what your spiritual IQ is? Yeah, I know. Like that stumps me, because for years I was like, gosh, I wish somebody would just, tell me who I am so I can just get on with life and stop second guessing whether my choices are right or wrong. I'm wondering if I've offended people, worrying if I, are having doubt about what I should be doing, or a course I should write, or whether or not to write a book, or do I have a voice, anything to say out there. Like, instead of troubleshooting that, I know for a surety, without a doubt, like, doubt is in the background now. I know who I am and what I'm here to do, and it feels amazing. So if I can help you do that, so that you can be the spiritual creator you were born to be, you can stop troubleshooting life, you can spend your time really making headway, having absolute confidence in what you're here to do, hit me up. You can reach out directly, Teresa Ford Coaching at Gmail, or you can even apply for my mentorship where I teach all of this to you, and you have an entire year to practice, because you will not be the same person 4 months later as you will be when we first start together, and then 4 months later after that, you will be a completely different person again. And so you're applying as you grow and you learn, and life is offering you opportunities to practice who you are, what you are, where you are, and why you are all the time. And in a year, you will not even be the same person. And I wouldn't be surprised if your body matched your inner glow. I wouldn't be surprised at all. That's probably one of the things that my clients say more often, is like, my body's changing and we're not doing anything with diet and exercise. It's like, interesting what happens when you know who you are and doubt falls away. So does stress. So I would love to work with you. But in the meantime, hopefully I've put some ideas out there for you to listen to, think about, contemplate, and, put it in your journal. You'll hear yourself say things in your journal that you normally don't say or think about out loud, because the Spirit's coming through your body and it comes out your pen. It's really amazing how that works when you're contemplating your spiritual gifts. So go be that spiritual creator, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for listening. I invite you to leave your feedback and share your aha moments as you listen to this podcast. Also, you can access more information or any of the programs, courses, or worksheets that I've mentioned on these episodes on my website at teresaford.life. Or what I would really love is for you to connect with me on Instagram at teresaford.coaching and on Facebook at Coaching with Teresa Ford, so I can give you more interesting insights and further coaching to help you fulfill the measure of your creation.